What we witnessed on Friday in Lyon was perhaps the most balanced UEFA Champions League draw in recent memory. Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. It is PSG versus FC Barcelona. We have Real Madrid versus Manchester City, defending champion, and Atletico Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. With that, I welcome you to another interesting, exciting edition of Sports Pizza. My name is Edwin Onyebulisi. I'm sure your week has started on a fantastic note. We have so much to bring to your viewing pleasure today. From the home front, it is not good news for the under-20 as they crashed out of the African Games. In the NPFL, we saw some interesting fixtures and also some exciting score lines. Away from football, in world of tennis, the Indian Wells, it was back-to-back wins for Carlos Alcaraz, his first since Wimbledon in July 2023, and for Igor Swiatek, a 19th career WTA title as she easily dispatched Maria Sakkari. Don't forget that in European football, we saw the FA Cup games go down. And of course, in the FA Cup, we saw some interesting games. It was Manchester United versus Liverpool, rekindling an old rivalry. We saw the magic of the FA Cup. Sit tight, fasten your seatbelt, because it's going to be a fantastic ride today on Sports Pizza. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's delve straight into action. We're starting from the home front. They say charity begins at home. I'm doing this alongside David Abe. David, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, hey Edwin. It's a pleasure to be here as always. I'm good.
All right, let's get straight into action. The Flying Eagles lost to Senegal in a game that all they needed was a draw. A draw, you get to the semi-finals of the football event at the ongoing African Games. But it wasn't to be. Came short. Guess who topped the group? Uganda. Embarrassment, I must say.
Absolutely. So I think one of the biggest indictments is that in 2024, Ladamboso is still the coach of our under-20 national team. I remember watching Ladamboso lead our team to Chile in 2007. And in 2024, we are still with Ladamboso. I don't think we have evolved, and that's why we still keep getting this same result. We're not a developmental country, and it's a shame to see. I remember one of the statements that Lamboso made over the course of his interview was that, some of the players he invited them because they were on the fringes of the Super Eagles. He thought maybe by now they would have progressed, and they did not progress, so he decided to give them a lifeline again. I don't know when the under-20 became opportunity lifeline for players, so I don't think teams were selected. He said they didn't have enough time to prepare. He also had forcing. So a lot of things just went wrong, and we got the results we wanted. So.
With age grade competitions, I'm not always particular about winning.
Yeah.
I want to see the idea. I want to see progress. Yeah. I want to see that these players are being coached properly. Yeah. I want to see, we should be able to project what the future is with these players. But unfortunately, we have deficiencies left, right, and center. We have coaching problem. I don't want to say we have talent problem, but we have talent developmental problem. We have administrative problems. And when you put all of this together, what we saw in the Nigeria-Senegal game is going to be a normal occurrence. Imagine we labor to defeat South Sudan. And the question is, are we that bad? Or are the other countries catching up to us?
One indicting stat is the fact we've won the under-17 5 times, but we've been able to win the under-20. And that tells you that that's the next scale and we failed there. And I think the fact that we are not doing the right things in terms of development, and other countries are actually, taking up the ball where we are dropping it. So I think that's where we are getting. So it's a mix of both, and that we'll continue getting the results we are getting if we don't fix things as they should be.
Still with the national team, we are already in international break. It is Nigeria versus Ghana and Mali. We're supposed to play Argentina in one of those friendlies, but I don't know what happens, visa issues and all whatnot. But it's a good test for the Super Eagles, still to get a permanent coach. But what are you expecting from the boys?
All in all, it will be a good test. But the fact that we don't have a substantive manager, we still don't know what the situation is concerning the manager. I think we can only give opportunities to players that have not gotten opportunities, and then probably get good performance from the boys, and we move forward from there.
All right, in the PFL, let's take a look at some interesting results. I will start from Lagos, Sporting Lagos defeated Kwara United by 2-0. And gradually they are putting daylight between themselves and those in the relegation zone.
Yes, absolutely. And so I think Sporting Lagos have, they are dominating the Southwest now. Most of these Southwest derbys, especially at home.
Stretch dominating.
So, well, they've beaten most of their, this for the fact that this is their first season in the league, and against 3SC, against Remo Stars, and against Kwara United, and I think they've gotten decent results. So I think they are building on, and I think relegation is no longer a big threat for them. I think they've stabilized themselves in the league.
In the Southwest Derby, Shooting Stars will tell you they are the biggest club in the Southwest. Historically, they hosted Remo Stars, and game ended 2-0 in favor of the Oluyole Warriors. Good result for Shooting Stars, but not so good on the side of what was alleged to be harassment on part of Remo Star striker Sikiri Alimi. What's your take on this? He said he was physically assaulted. I'm sure that the NPFL, the LMC, everyone will come together to get to the roots of this. But these are not what we want to see. I'm in for the banter and the boos and all that, but physically attacking a player makes no sense. Yeah, so
the culture of Nigerian fans needs to change a lot. I'm not surprised that if he said it happened, I'm not surprised, because I remember an incident happened. I think it was in early 2010s when Suraj Ailes, a goalkeeper, he left Niger Tornadoes to join Shooting Stars, and he considered a goal. And then the Niger Tornado fans were, actually harassing him. They were threatening him right on the pitch there, the ones behind the ground. He felt he was not safe. He had to, travel on his own to leave the state. So I think the culture of Nigerian fans is not right. We need to get it right. Understand that football is win, lose, or draw. You cannot win all the time. And you need to, sportsmanship is what is the rule of the game.
All right, let's take a look at some results. Shooting Stars, like we said, defeated Remo Stars by 2-0. Bayelsa United defeated Kano Pillars 2-1. It was goalless in the game between Abia Warriors and Sunshine Stars. Katsina United defeated Plateau United 2-1. Rangers defeated Lobby Stars in a top of the table clash, while Benel Insurance defeated Doma United 4-0. Quickly, Doma United started the season strongly, but they are fizzling out.
Yeah, so I don't think they have what it takes to go all the way. But the fact is, at this point in time, their realistic hopes are of staying in the league, not getting relegated. I think they, at a point that they pushed above their weight, but they have right back down to earth, and I think they'll just try to stabilize for as long as possible.
All right, Enyimba defeated Niger Tornadoes by 3-1, while Rivers United further sunk the dagger in the hearts of Heartland Football Club. A look at the table. Lobby Stars still top the table, 46-point, but they are just a point above Enyimba and Enugu Rangers in third and second position respectively, while Plateau United completes the top four. Before we go on a break, quickly from tennis, Indian Wells. Let's start with the ladies. To be a gentleman, you have to start with the ladies first. Igor Swiatek, 19th career WTA title in 69 minutes. She swept past Maria Sakkari. What a performance, and she's still the woman to beat.
Absolutely, and so many stats that back how superior she has been. The fact that out of the last 10 WTA 1000, she has won 8. She has only lost 2 times in 2 finals. So I think it's good for her, and also the fact that she's the first #1 to actually win the WTA 1000 since Victoria Azarenka. So I think it's a good one for her. She's showing that she still has the stuff, to offer for the rest of this season.
Yes, like I said, 69 minutes, she won 6-4, 6-love. And for Maria Sakkari, it was her 10th WTA final, and she was seeking her 3rd. It was back-to-back wins for Carlos Alcaraz. He defeated Medvedev in the final. It was a tough battle in the first set, but it was easy busy for the Spaniard. His first title since Wimbledon in July 2023. Do you think he can build on this win and re-establish himself? After that Wimbledon win, we felt he was going on to dominate, but there was a certain Novak Djokovic somewhere, and Yannick Sinner ended the season strongly. But he started well, despite having injury issues. He came unscathed, and we should be expecting an exciting 2024.
Yeah, I think what he can do is just, put all the mishaps of the past few months after the Wimbledon, put it behind him and not focus on Djokovic. I think there was a point he was so much obsessed with overcoming Djokovic, and he let it enter into his head. Djokovic was living rent-free in his head. But I think he has to put it out now, focus on his game, and get back to the levels that he knows he he can play at, and I'm sure he will get better, and then this season will still come good for him.
Yes, I'm sure you're having fun with us. It's still Sports Pizza. Remember to follow us on our social media platform at Sports Pizza. We're going to break. When we come back, there's more on the show. Welcome back. Sports Pizza is the name of the show. Edwin and David still in the building. It's time to talk European football. Where do we start? Let's start in England. They say it is the home of football, the oldest football competition in the world, the FA Cup. We saw the quarterfinal games, but we'll just stick with the Manchester United versus Liverpool game. It was the pick of the bunch. It was a rivalry. In fact, it's a derby. It's a Northwest derby. And this rivalry has been on for decades. Arsenal top the league, but Liverpool are just behind on goals difference, and they were heavy favourites for this. But with United, you expect chaos, and once the game is chaotic, United always find a way to get the job done. And it was exactly the way they wanted it against Liverpool over the weekend. They needed it to be chaotic. Liverpool had chances to play the game. At the end of the day, Ten Hag's Fleddies, should we call them that, came to the rescue. Yeah,
so I think we have seen over the course of the last 2 weeks, we've seen two sides of Liverpool. The one that managed to overcome City at Anfield, and then this one that allowed the chaos, basketball kind of game against United. So I think the fact that it shows that this probably the frailties that might derail their quadruple success, which has already been cut short, and then also the league challenge. The fact that there's under the smoke, underneath the whole club drama, there's some frailties, and I think matches like this shows why we are going back to the club of the old, where they could not control games. They were just back and forth, chaotic game, and it suited Man United, and they took advantage of it over the course of the game.
Definitely, Ten Hag will be pleased. These players have gone out on international duty, but do you think that winning the FA Cup is enough to keep him beyond the season?
So I don't think so. I had a discussion with the Man United fan last season when he won the Carabao Cup that this is not sustainable. We have not seen enough, to justify, the progress that he said he wants to bring to the club. So I think this FA Cup also, there were two very key mistakes from Liverpool that gave them the victory. Fine, Liverpool opened the game up for them. I think that's not the kind of game they will get on a regular basis. So I don't think Ten Hag has shown enough, to show that he's leading the club in the right direction. All
right, Chelsea are also through after they defeated Leicester City 4-2. It was a hard-fought win. They were 2-0 up at some point. Sterling, we saw the good, the bad, and the ugly from Raheem Sterling. Created a goal, missed a penalty, but Cole Palmer has been Chelsea's best player, unarguably. Manchester City easily dispatched Newcastle United. Bernardo Silva's brace. Arbits from two deflections. And for me, the craziest game that probably rivaled Liverpool United was the Wolves versus Coventry game at Molineux. Coventry are going to Wembley. They led first, Wolves got back into the game, equalized, and two late goals from Coventry ensured that Wolves will not visit Wembley. Away from that, in the Spanish La Liga, it was Atletico Madrid unbeaten at home versus Barcelona, looking to end this season strongly, ended 3-0 in favor of FC Barcelona. Since Xavi announced that he was retiring, David, Barcelona unbeaten. Results have improved. Maybe not so with performances, but performances slightly have improved. What changed? Because I don't think it is tactics. It is the same system, the same manager, the same players. But what has changed?
So I think Barcelona is a storm on its own as it is right now as a club, and I think the fact that Xavi made the announcement just somehow calmed all the storms surrounding the club, and it allowed him to be free. And the players also a lot of weight off their shoulders, and they decided to just play football and just let the results come as they come. So I think. I feel sometimes results like this make me feel pity for Xavi. The fact that we keep forgetting that he actually won a league title in very swashbuckling fashion, it means there's something there, but it's like the right man at the right club, but at the wrong time. That's what the mixture we have now. So probably we'll come back to Barcelona in the future after this season is ended.
All right, let's go to the big one, the UEFA Champions League. The morning spinning UEFA Champions League, the draws for the quarterfinals and also the semi-finals were done last week. And not just the Champions League, we also saw the draws of the Europa League and UEFA Europa Conference League. I'll be giving you the fixtures from those other competitions, but let's stay with the big one.
Yeah.
The semi-finals also, but first the quarter-final appearance, Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid versus Dortmund. Yeah. You have PSG versus Barcelona and Real Madrid versus Manchester City. For the semi-final appearance, the winner in the PSG-Barcelona game will face the winner in the Atletico Madrid-Dortmund game. While in this other semi-final, the winner in the Arsenal-Bayern game will face the winner in the Real Madrid-Manchester City game. Let's start with Atletico Madrid and Dortmund. David, it is the experience on one side, youth and also quality on the other hand. I'm tempted to tilt towards experience and quality because Atletico Madrid, two-time finalists in 2014 and 2016. They've won the Europa League as well under Diego Simeone. In fact, they've played 23 knockout games in the Champions League. 21 of those have come under Diego Simeone.
Yeah.
I think over 2 legs, they should have just enough to edge past Dortmund.
Yeah, I believe so too. I think Dortmund will give them a game, considering the fact that the league has been bad for Dortmund, but they've had consolation in the Champions League. Results like the one against PSG, against AC Milan, when they were almost dead and buried in the group, they found a way to top that group. So they've shown that okay, their quality can see them through in Champions League. But over 2 legs against a very experienced side, Atletico Madrid that you mentioned, Diego Simeone will find his way to the quarter-final.
All right, in the PSG-Barcelona game, I want to the tactical side of it. I've seen a situation where PSG, as expected, will field Ousmane Dembele on one side, Kylian Mbappe on one side, 2 pacey, fast wingers with a lot of trickery, versus 2 fullbacks for Barcelona that don't like defending. Yeah. I think this is where the game will be won in this time.
Absolutely. So I think Xavi needs to, if he doesn't start working on it right from now, I think he needs to find a system that is going to negate, even though that's going to be very difficult to do, the threat of both Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele on both sides. So I think it's going to be very difficult, and he can only work with what he has. What he has at fullback now are defenders, fullback that cannot defend. So I think he has to find a system. He's not going to rely on the individuals now, but a system that will be able to negate the chances that they will get both Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele.
How much would they miss Frenkie de Jong and Pedri?
It will be a very huge miss because PSG have, what Enrique has done with PSG now, he has found a midfield combination that is able to create chances for the attackers. They are no longer they have pace on the wing, but they also try to play in the midfield with the quality they have there. So I think it's going to be a midfield battle, and without Frenkie de Jong, Barcelona have a very little chance of winning that battle.
All right, Real Madrid versus Manchester City, defending champions versus record Champions League holders, 14 times Champions League winners. It is a manager, the orthodox style, Ancelotti, versus the coach who is heralded as the modern football pioneer. How do you see this playing out? Last season, it was one-way traffic, Manchester City. But this season, do you think Real Madrid have improved, not just individually, but also collectively?
Yes, so I think so. I think Ancelotti has built a solid base for the team to build on. You've seen injuries over the course of the season, but they've still found a way to play well. And it's not just the fact, over the course of it feels like they are getting results, but they're actually playing well if you watch them when they play. They create chances, and then they create opportunities for their attackers. So I think we might either get the result of last season or we get the result of 2 seasons ago, but there's no Benzema on show, so probably Jude Bellingham might deliver. But I think it's going to be a very tactical game. Ancelotti will allow his boys to play, and then Pep Guardiola will try to mastermind results. But at the end of the day, the better side will probably win the game.
And finally, it is Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. This is a game where you have vested interest.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of times when we talk about the Champions League, there's an adjective that is used to describe some teams, experience, and you have a lot of that in this Bayern team.
Absolutely.
I think they still have 5 players from the 2020 Champions League winning team: Leon Goretzka, Manuel Neuer, Kingsley Coman. You have not Leroy Sané. You have Serge Gnabry, Joshua Kimmich also in this team. There's also Thomas Müller somewhere in the Bayern Munich side. Yeah. But for Arsenal, they are on form, arguably the best team in the Premier League right now. They top the table They are playing fantastically well.
Yeah.
When experience and form meets,
Yeah.
who do you think will prevail?
So
Experience in Bayern, form
from
in Arsenal.
So it's that age-old adage of, you know, the unstoppable force and the immovable object.
Yeah.
So fine, it's going to. I think experience will be like the tiebreaker over the course of the two legs. There might be instances where, you know, the experience is going to count, but if Arsenal can let their quality, you know, do what is required to do, it might get them over the line. But that experience, if it gets to a point where, like, they showed over the Porto tie, over the two legs, that fine, they might have learned one or two lessons. Porto tried to, you know, stifle them out of the game, force them not to play their usual football, but they showed that, okay, they have what it takes when the push comes to shove. But against Bayern Munich, if they let it go to situations where experience would count, I think they might be knocked out.
All right, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. A prediction will still revisit these games. But let me get your prediction. Arsenal, Bayern, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Man City, and of course PSG, Bayern Munich.
Yeah, so
over two legs.
So I would say Arsenal 3-2 victory.
Okay.
I expect their quality to see them through.
Okay.
So I think Manchester City 3-2 against Real Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think Atletico Madrid 3-1 against Dortmund.
All right.
And PSG, I think Barcelona will defeat them 4-3 on aggregate.
All right, so David, you are on the spot. Our viewers have watched. I'm sure when next we come back to revisit these games after both legs, let's see how many octopus David got right. All right, before we leave quickly in the Europa League, we have Milan versus Roma, Leverkusen versus West Ham, Liverpool versus Atalanta, and Benfica versus Marseille. In the Conference League, it's Club Brugge versus PAOK, Victoria Plzen versus Fiorentina, Aston Villa versus Lille, and Olympiacos versus Fenerbahce. That's the size of today's show. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed every bit of today's segment. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms, and we'll leave you with our video for the week. My name is Edwin Onyebulisa. It's a pleasure being on set with you, David.
Yeah, pleasure as always. Have a great week, guys.
Until we come your way, same time next week. Have fun. God bless you.